Into the site, and Simple's got holds the line with one, doubling in it with the Deagle, and Simple just won't stop.
To Wilkie, but there's no time left, and joystick again! What is going on?
Rampage is solar BT gaming, and they're pushing. Oh, you've got to be kidding me!
That's the full pentakill!
Fuck cancer. Welcome to the theScore Esports Awards. It's not your mom and dad's black tie kind of show. You're not gonna find any tuxedos here. We're gonna do it different. Because we know when it comes to awards, it's way more fun to argue about who won and who definitely shouldn't have won than waste time on little envelopes and focusing on the results. And with me, I've got our CSGO expert and mustache aficionado, Colin McNeil.
Look guys, I gotta let you know, I'm here for two reasons, okay? To give awards away to CSGO people and to have some beer.
I swear to God, I'm gonna try to keep him sober. We've also got Daniel Rosen, our in-office FGC encyclopedia.
I'm more of a scrub than an encyclopedia, but I'm taking the compliment.
And he's staying humble even during award season. We're gonna be giving away 6 of these arcade cabinets. 1 to Play of the Year, 1 to Hard Carry of the Year, 1 to Roster of the Year, 1 to Phenom of the Year, the Like and Subscribe Award for Content Creator of the Year, and the big one, Player of the Year. Let's get into this shit. Okay, the first award we're giving away today is the Phenom of the Year. And if I'm being honest, this is our version, the esports version of Rookie of the Year. Because you guys know, it's almost impossible to pin down when someone's rookie season actually started. But we know it is important to honor that great young talent, that best young talent on the planet. These are the nominees for the 2019 Phenom of the Year.
The nominees for the 2019 Phenom Award are Booga, Janu, Nisha, Zachary, Zywoo. And the winner is Zywoo.
It's 4 here again! He wants the ball! Get him out of here!
He's the closer!
He might be right in front. Oh my God! He lines it up and shuts it down!
Alice Grim's gonna peek. Oh, what? How did Zywoo hit that? That is just unbelievable.
I think there's no doubt you can argue that right now Zywoo is one of the best players in the world. I know we had the likes of Simple, Nico, Colten, but this guy right here in his rookie season has blown everyone away.
As if there was any doubt who was gonna win this award. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard, but Zywoo is pretty good. In fact, so good that he is neck and neck with
All right, keep it in your pants, Colin. We're gonna talk about Zywoo in a minute. We kind of have to talk about the other nominees
Yeah,
in this category.
we can't go straight to Zywoo. We have to talk about the guys who didn't quite make it first.
All right, so I want to talk about Zachary real quick. Smash Bros. Ultimate Player. He is 17 years old. This was pretty much his first season competing internationally. Top 8 in 7 tournaments, including EVO and winning Big House, which is pretty big deal stuff.
I mean, we also had Janu, who came in with the Vancouver Titans and almost won MVP in his rookie year. And then how could you forget about someone like Booga? This guy pulled in M's as a kid playing Fortnite at the World Cup this year, out of nowhere.
And of course, there's Nisha, who, again, TI is all anybody cares about in Dota, but there is a DPC with majors across the whole year. Team Secret did really well on the back, at least partially, of Nisha's incredible performance. Young guy who's going a lot of places in Dota. All right, Colin, it's your turn now. Take it away.
Now, I couldn't help but think when Keith was talking about our comment section being like, Fortnite, esports, pick one.
Look, man. No matter what the comments say, you can't shy away from how sick these guys look on the biggest stage. They're fucking cranking 90s. It's unreal.
Man, I'm just messing with you. He won $3 million.
Yeah, I mean, how can you laugh at $3 million?
You can't laugh at it. You also cannot laugh at our winner, Zywoo. It's difficult to describe how incredible this young man is. He typifies the word phenom. At 18 years old, at least for most of last year, he is as good, maybe better, not up to me, as Simple, okay? When you watch him, it's like he's from another planet. When you watch certain CSGO players, like let's say Device or something, you're like, oh, he's really fundamentally sound, he's a god, maybe I could become half that good one day, right? You have these like pipe dreams of aspiration. Not with ZywOo, because he doesn't play like any other human being whose name isn't simple. Kind of reminds me of this talk I had with Alex, his IGL and Vitality. It was in Berlin for the Berlin Major. And I was asking him about ZywOo for like a video we were doing, and he was describing to me how ZywOo basically just sees the matrix. You know, no mid doors, no long A, no B tons. It's all code, right? And he could see a guy at one end of the map disappear for 30 seconds and calculate in his head, okay, you could take this route, this route, this route, and the timing for this would be that, and the timing for this would be that, and then he'll come out of wherever he came out of. 30 seconds later, boom, ZywOo will dome him. That is something you cannot teach. And I also cannot understate the fact that this young man, at 18 years old, has an entire region on his back. Nay, he is bringing an entire region that is French Counter-Strike out of the Dark Ages and back into relevancy.
Man, I cannot think of anything, literally anything, more Colin McNeil than Matrix references and godlike CSGO. And from the Matrix itself, we have ZywOo accepting his award.
Salut Zio, ça va?
Salut toi.
Ça va. Félicitations, tu as remporté le Phenom of the Year de theScore.
Franchement, merci, hein, c'est grave stylé. Hein.
C'est grave stylé, bravo à lui.
Franchement,
grand joueur cette année. Un truc que par rapport à tes teammates, t'en as pas marre d'être assez égoïste, de prendre tous les kills pour.
Ouais, tu sais que j'aime bien être derrière les gens. Hein. Tu sais, avancer, moi Z, genre je connais pas. Hein.
C'est vrai, j'avais oublié ce petit détail, mais c'est important. T'es bien, tu tues tout le monde, ça me dérange pas. C'est très bien pour tes coéquipiers.
Ouais.
Voilà. Donc maintenant.
C'est la question fatidique, c'est ça?
La question fatidique, comme tu dis. Gagner un gros titre en équipe, un major. Je te dirais pas?
Franchement, je suis chaud. Hein.
T'es chaud?
En plus Rio là.
Rio, bah
oui.
Allons-y.
De ouf.
See you à Rio.
See you à Rio.
He may not be done yet. He's actually nominated for our next award as well, the Play of the Year. And this one, it's a little more complicated than you might think when you first hear it. The thing about games is that they offer unlimited potential. You know, you watch people play all the time and they're crazy good, but then someone does something you didn't even think was possible. And we had to take all of that into account. The stakes, the skill level, and that unquestionable wow factor. Here are the nominees for the 2019 Play of the Year.
The nominees for the Godlike Play of the Year are Breezy's 1v4 clutch at Star Series I-League Season 8.
Does Breezy actually get a plant?
Oh no, the Kriegs are coming.
The Kriegs are coming.
Oh, wait! Maybe more!
No way. Oh my goodness.
Arteezy's Rampage at the International 2019.
Hughes Ori is backed up to Mail. He will end up falling. Chris trying to do something about it in the backline. Turns on the Magpies, gets a follow-up kick, but how much has he really got left to give? You got the flip tossed out, and now Crit focused down by Paparazzi. All the damage he needs through the Gosser, he gets it. And with a force up, Ori continues to be kiting them out. S4 will Barrow strike in. He doesn't really be that effective. In fact, it's done the opposite way around. Arteezy slow on life. He'll try and hit you right inside of S4 to get the hell out of here. Barrow strike in 1 second, but the banner, it got taken away by the Mystic Snake. They have to pop out. They have to fight. At least he'll be able to get one dive back over on the Tusker, or maybe he can get more. A double kill for Arteezy, a triple kill for Arteezy. He's just turned this crap up. Ultra kill, giving the Rampage the best. It is Arteezy. Rampage is solo BG gaming. Do you want it? Do you want it?
Viper's Pentakill at Worlds 2019.
Spotted. They're expecting top jungle. You saw this finally go into the brush. They know Rookie's behind somewhere. When will they find it? What's the play? Forward they go. They might have knocked him down. Puts down the pool, but is there enough damage? They're going to try. They ult over the top, and it's already a 2-for-0. Viper doesn't die, but one finally comes through. It's up to Jackie Love, but he gets stunned. Clutch from Tarzan, but Morgana can't find it either. Viper stays alive. That's the full pentakill.
Vitality's 0-second goal at the RLCS Season 7 Finals.
At least slows him down. Shihab can't stop him there. Around the corner, Chicago, it bounces off the rim. Scrub, he grabs the ball. Heading out to kill it. JNAPS blows it downfield. Fairy Peak. Midfield, he's under one. Fairy Peak carrying this. The gate up. Into the back wall. Scrub, killer scores. 0 seconds. Unbelievable. The game is not over until that ball touches the ground. A hard lesson to learn. But Scrub, killer
ZywOo's 1v4 clutch at ESL One Cologne 2019.
He's up 3 kills from Broland, and Zai will eventually drop him on the floor, but it has to be the 1v4 clutch from ZywOo. Nid comes in barely enough health to survive here on Broland, but ZywOo wants to kill. There's the headshot, pulls it back, there's the open, ZywOo's got the triple. Crimson's the last man standing, and there's time for the defuse. ZywOo wants to smoke the bomb. If you're Crims, you have to be scared, and ZywOo wins it. That is unbelievable from the young Frenchman.
And the winner is Viper's Pentakill at Worlds 2019.
When will they find it? What's the play? Forward they go. They might have knocked him down. Puts down the pool, but is there enough damage? They're going to try. They ult over the top, and it's already a 2 for 0. Viper doesn't die, but one finally comes through. It's up to Jackie Love, but he gets stunned. Clutch from Tarzan, but Morgana can't find it either. Viper stays alive. That's the full pentakill when they needed it most.
All right. So Viper's pentakill was sick. It is honestly a display of pure mechanical skill. And look, you see a lot of pentakills in League of Legends, but not like this. But like last time, we do have to talk about the other nominees in this category. So I guess I'll get us started. I kind of want to talk about Arteezy's Rampage at TI9. I'm not the biggest Dota expert, but look, you don't really get to see real 1v5s like that very often, and it was amazing. Though, again, it was in group stage, so the stakes weren't quite as high as some of our other plays on this list.
Group stage of TI, pretty good.
Pretty
now,
good.
Speaking of high stakes, we have one from the RLCS World Championship Final. Now, that's about as high as it gets, the 0-second goal. Very impressive stuff. Shout out to Scrub Killer for that one. You already know what I want to talk about, though.
All right.
First, ya boy Breezy. 1v4 pistol clutch, super sick play. We've all been buzzing about it for, well, since it happened. I watched this one live, and I remember like the round was starting to wind down rather. And I got up from my desk. I was gonna get a glass of water. I think, oh yeah, well, he might get a bomb plant out of this. Good start for Renegades against a team like EG, right? Boom! All of a sudden, he destroys 4 guys, and that final kill, the jumping fucking goosh with the USP, ooh. It's beautiful. Only thing is, right, happened at Star Series. Yeah. It was against Renegades, no disrespect to them.
Not Astralis.
No, yeah. Not Astralis, not Liquid, not our boy ZywOo, who we're not done talking about. And speaking of which, he's got a play on here that I think really exemplifies what we've been talking about when it comes to ZywOo. That sort of like, you could never do this factor. Like, who is this guy? He's from another planet. Have you guys ever seen the movie Man on Fire?
No, because I'm not 400 years old.
Nobody was born in time to see that.
That's a lie. It stars Denzel Washington, okay, and there's this line where Christopher Walken's like, oh, Creasy's art is death, and he's about to paint his masterpiece. Well, guess what? ZywOo's art is death, and if this ain't his masterpiece, it's a seminal work. I don't want to get, play-by-play Yanko with you here, analyst desk, but if you watch this play, it's just fucking perfection. It's art. It's what you want to see as a CSGO fan.
Okay. But he didn't win the award. Viper won the award.
Right. Which makes it all the more incredible that a play that's balanced on a razor's edge with aggression that would make Simple blush did not get our nod for this award.
Giving it to Viper because it's got a lot of the things that make that ZywOo play, this Viper's pentakill that is, got a lot of things that make that ZywOo play so sick. It's on a razor's edge. He makes one mistake, it's all over. So here's the context, right? Okay. World Championship.
Kind of a big deal.
Maybe the biggest tournament in esports.
Maybe the big one of, certainly.
TI exists.
Yeah. Griffin are down 2-0. Okay. They lose that game, they're out of the tournament, out of Worlds. They've gotten pretty far, but people have a lot of hope for them. Now, in that one specific game, things are pretty close. We're at about 20, 30 minutes or so, somewhere in that range. It's about a 3,000 gold lead for Griffin, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not gonna win you the game.
Right.
So the team fight, where they are right there, around Baron, and again, I wanna note, they're not at a tower, they're not slaughtering someone at Fountain. This is a pretty even engage on a pick in the bush at mid lane, right?
Yeah.
They get the pick, they go in, IG starts looking like they're gonna win the team fight, and Viper turns it on. Pure mechanical skill. Does everything he needs to do. Hits every skill shot. Zhonya's at the perfect moment. Hits everyone. It's not true 1v5, but you so rarely get to see pentakills in League of Legends where it's not just someone cleaning up after the rest of their team did a lot of the work. This is the AD carry putting in the work and killing everything.
That's the thing that I don't want to get lost in this discussion, is that pentakills happen in League of Legends.
Right.
If you get a pentakill, do you win this award? No, you don't.
Absolutely not, yeah.
But so often you see them as fountain cleanup jobs.
Yeah.
Or the AD carry ends up basically clicking on the corpse of
exactly.
5 people.
They just got the last hit because they do the most damage, right? That's just how it works.
Yeah, and I think that what's really special about this play is that he had to execute all the way through the play in order to be the kind of player, to make the kind of play that is our 2019 play of the year.
The kind of play that's our 2019 play of the year, and on the stage
that's the thing, right? All the pressure in the world, because if he didn't do what he did, his team was not going to be at Worlds for one more game.
May I point out, by the way, that during this time, and continuing, Griffin was literally imploding internally.
And somehow, amidst that implosion, we actually have Viper accepting his award.
네, 우선 저는 그리핀의 언딜러 바이퍼라고 하고요. 이런 뜻깊은 상을 받게 돼서 되게 기쁘고 롤드컵 때 같이 했던 팀원들이 생각나면서 되게 고맙다고 말을 하고 싶고, 이런 상을 받게 될 줄 몰랐는데 받게 되어서 더 기쁜 것 같고, 다음에도 이런 상을 제가 받을 수 있도록 열심히 노력해서 좋은 모습 보여드리겠습니다. 그리고 앞으로도 많은 응원과 관심 그리고 기대해 주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
Okay, we gotta take a break from the awards for a second. The reality is, over the last year, we've learned that streaming, well, it's a dangerous job. As IRL streaming has gotten popular and people like XQC are sleeping on stream, we've learned that in order to do it big, you gotta show off more of your life than ever before. And that means more 12-year-olds laughing at you. We've watched as some of the biggest names on Twitch, some of the biggest stars in gaming, have been banned, laughed at, and ridiculed for their on-stream antics. So, today, we're gonna take a moment to remember those we lost on Twitch this year. Here's the 2019 biggest Twitch fails.
Everyone's lost, let's get it. Come on, baby. Show me what you got. Show me what, just move. If you got to know it, just move. It's all I want to see, some movement. I'm not seeing enough movement. This is it. This is what Times Square should have done, but didn't do.
Have you ever tried to get a million people to floss, freezing their butts off, their hands on pockets?
I can't say that I have.
Yeah, well, good, because guess what? I haven't either.
Cut the bathroom scene out. Yeah. We can't. No. It's illegal.
Milo!
There's no way I can ever convince Chad I'm not cheating.
There's one guy streaming himself, making his finals. There's another guy who's just watching him. Watching some gay guy watching him. Then there's this channel.
Osho Popo Toto. Osho Popo Toto.
Oh, you guys, why is this happening?
Eat it, man. Eat it like a mine.
I am now staring at a wall for 7 hours.
Colon last _ quarter _ moon _ with _ face.
When we're applying the community guidelines, we very specifically take context and intent into account.
Rob, welcome. Am I allowed to sit like this? I'm gonna sit like this.
If someone walks up to you on the street and shoves you, that's one thing. If someone walks on down the street and they trip and they push you, it's not the same. Your intent matters.
Do I just build my shit here? Oh my god, I have the wrong skin on me.
Fucking killed all the villagers, man. You suck my dick, man. Y'all motherfuckers kill them. You can suck my pee-pee.
I honestly thought I was gonna start crying during that monologue. So, Colin, what was your favorite fail from the streaming world this year?
I don't know, man. My favorite fail?
Yeah,
what was the best of the worst?
The best of the worst.
I think the best of the worst for me is going to be Alinity throwing her cat. And look, the cat's fine. I talked to the SPCA, which is the animal abuse people. No, for real.
They're the animal protection people. They're not the animal abuse people. You don't want to be the animal abuse people.
So my favorite fail is me.
Listen, if we're all talking about cats.
Real talk though,
Yeah,
you can attest to this.
Yeah.
For like 4 weeks after
God, 4
the
weeks
Alinity
is-
thing happened and we did a Don't At Me about it, I was like walking around the office constantly going, Milo.
4 weeks is like really underestimating how long it was going. You did this like
Stuck in my
last
head.
week. You did it like last week.
I did it just now.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of the cat thing, I cannot get over that dude eating cat food. It is hilarious.
Dude, okay, so we've published multiple videos now that have this clip of this guy eating cat food in it. And every single time I need Colin to watch the video because I can't get through it. And I want to make sure it's clean. I want to make sure there's no black holes on YouTube or anything like that, but I cannot finish it. It is so cringe.
So funny.
How much money did he get for doing that?
Dude, not enough. That's all
But
honestly,
is it like 5,000 or like
there's
100,000?
There's no way it was
It's definitely
100,000.
It was under
It has to
5,000.
be
No, I have
under
to ask you,
5,000.
100,000. Would you eat the cat food?
Dude, I would have to.
$100,000
For
You
$100,000?
can't even watch a man eat cat food.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you just get some water and it'll be over before you know it.
I like how like entertainment in 2019 right here is like guy eats cat food, XQC sleeps.
Yeah, guy stares at wall, Miskiff staring at the wall for 7 hours.
Again, would do that for $5,000.
Okay,
without question.
maybe my favorite, it's not really a Twitch fail, but my favorite sort of Twitch-related thing of the year was XQC watching and then reacting to and uploading our videos 2 hours after we published them, like week over week.
Yo, shout out to everybody watching this very award show with XQC on his Twitch or his YouTube, because I know you're doing it.
Yeah, we see you guys.
All right. We can't linger on Twitch for too long, although I know we all love talking about this drama shit. But our next award is actually the roster of the year. And this one, it actually might be our most controversial award. The fact is, when it comes to picking teams, it can't be about star power. It has to be all the trophies they compiled together. What makes the team run? What makes them the best 5-man or 6-man unit in the world? These are the nominees for the 2019 Roster of the Year.
The nominees for Roster of the Year are Astralis, CSGO, Team Empire, Rainbow Six Siege, G2 Esports, League of Legends, Team Liquid, CSGO, OG, Dota 2. And the winner is Astralis, CSGO.
That has to feel a little bit going out middle of the air to take down Alex. Another pushing. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. He takes every single one.
Oh, he's the lamb and ends the slaughter because it's Zippix that's going to hold it. But you can't mess with greatness. You can't mess with history. And these guys are writing it in every event. Intel Extreme Masters, Champions, Majors, back-to-back. Astralis again!
Once again, there was no doubt in my mind, no doubt when we conceived this category who was going to win it.
We know, man. We know who you wanted to win.
Keep it in your pants.
Astralis won back-to-back majors this year, had the most one-sided major grand finals, had the highest HLTV rating online and on LAN.
All right. Calm down.
I got more.
I know you do. We'll save it for
There's more.
You got another team you got to talk
Again,
about too. We got
yeah.
2 CSGO teams this time, so you know.
Oh, you're right.
Save your energy for the end. We got to get through the other guys. I want to talk about Team Empire. So Team Empire, Rainbow Six team, they started the season literally as nobodies, right? They win Challenger, they win Pro League, they become the best team in the world in 8 months, and they play this crazy aggro style of Siege that just was not popular at the high level. Incredible story, incredible team. For you, Colin, just to translate, they play like NACS.
Ooh, Russian Rainbow Six, NACS. Yeah, I like these guys.
And we can't forget about G2 Esports League of Legends. Like, you know, as someone like yourself, Colin, who's just a fairly casual League fan, I feel like I was listening to G2 Esports are the second coming of Christ for the entire year.
Listen, I may have fallen off a little bit after the spring split this year, but yes, of course G2 was the most entertaining League of Legends team for my money to watch. And a big part of that was the role swapping from perks. We'll talk about that later, you know, no spoiler alert there. What I really love about G2 personally is not just what they did, which is win almost everything, back-to-back splits, MSI, which now is a relevant tournament, well, there was one series they didn't win, but
just listen, and if they had won that one series, this
Yeah, this
could
might
have been a
be-
very
yeah,
different
this might
conversation.
be a
You know what I mean?
different
There would have been a more
conversation.
challenging award to give, I think.
you are totally right. And what I was going to say is I don't just love what they did, I love how they did it. Because these G2 guys, they were having fun, they were joking around, they were memeing the entire way through.
And they're reinventing the meta too, right? Like that really can't be like pushed aside. Is that they're bringing a kind of creativity to League of Legends you don't often see.
I mean, they play their own way, and that's like what you're looking for in a roster.
The
of the
last
year.
team we got to talk about before and Colin just like goes off with into CSGO lane with us is OG, right? There's a team, they won TI, they dumpstered everyone at TI, second TI in a row. No one's ever done that. No one's ever won 2 TIs, let alone 2 in a row. But the reason that we kind of couldn't give them this award is just fundamentally they only really did that at one tournament.
Yeah, I mean,
they played all year long, but they were really impressive at TI.
It just tends to be difficult. You know, they're obviously 2-time winners, but you know, only one of those times happened this year. So
look, you know, we often talk about Dota as just TI, and there's obviously some truth to that, but there's a thing called the DPC. I mean, they have majors, right? So you can't just wait it on one tournament, even if it is TI. And as you said, back-to-back, unfortunately the first one wasn't this year, and that's what we're talking about. And that's why we're talking about Team Liquid as not the CSGO team that won, but they had an incredible year, or at least an incredible segment of the year. For several months, it seems like they couldn't be beat. They won everything. They won the IEM Grand Slam in record time, the second team ever to do so. Who was the first? Astralis. No surprise there. And they're the darlings of not just NACS, but CS. They were truly on top of the world, literally the #1 team. Now, their story is tied to the story of our winning team, which is Astralis. I already told you they won back-to-back majors. What happened in between that? Well, at the beginning of the year, they kind of retreated from the scene a little bit, didn't attend certain tournaments, and you almost feel like they opened the door for Team Liquid to come in and like take the crown.
Well, this is the thing, right? Because last year the story was, Astralis won last year, obviously, and the story was, CS is boring. Astralis wins everything.
That was only a story, I'm gonna be real with you, that's the story from people who don't know shit about CS, because the way that Astralis plays is
absolutely, but people are complaining about, Astralis.
I know.
They're just so good. There's you know, there's no competition in
My
CS.
point is, so Liquid comes in, they take the crown on some Robert Baratheon Game of Thrones shit, okay? And everybody thinks Astralis is washed, they're dead, the era's over, right? Just like Daenerys. And then they come from Europe on their dragon, and they take back the crown, and they smoke Team Liquid. And honestly, that storyline is part of what makes this year theirs. Yes, they were, you know, the most winningest team in CSGO in terms of major competitions, because even though the scene is changing, we're still talking about CSGO, and majors matter. And they won both of them, right? Maybe that'll change in future years with the IEM Grand Slam, with this talk of, you know, franchise leagues. But right now, as far as I'm considered, the pinnacle of CSGO competition is the majors, and they dumpstered them. They took back the crown. They function as an incredible unit. They performed just as well as last year, except for the Liquid hiccup. And they showed us not only what dominance is, but what sustained dominance is. The kind that I'm willing to say, not only have we never seen in CSGO, that's obvious, I don't think we've seen it in esports.
Yeah, actually, I think that's a really good point. The fact is, at this point, it's really hard to argue against the kind of dominance that they've been putting up. They're kind of a well-oiled machine, like you're saying. And in fact, that same well-oiled machine, well, they have a word for us, accepting our award.
Hello guys, Astralis is back, and we are where we've left off. We are at the battleship of Pillarskram. This is the place we've been for the last previous season, so why not just start from where we left off?
Yeah, and I mean, winning roster of the year is something that means a lot to us. We know the competition out there is really tough, and yeah, we just appreciate this award. So now we're going to continue to work hard. We know it's going to be most likely an even tougher year here in 2020. So I want to thank all our sponsors and fans for supporting us, and see you at the next event. See you guys. Bye.
Oh, I love the Astralis guys. You know, we gave him the same award last year, and I hope to give them the same award next year. Not that I'm gonna rig it or anything. I also really like this show. I got some beer, some neon signs everywhere. I got you guys doing all the work.
Yeah, it wasn't like this last year, right?
Last year, shout out to you guys who watched it. You the real ones. I wrote it, I produced it, I hosted it. We shot it in our boardroom back at the office.
Yeah, you had to wear that button-up shirt.
Which I bought at the mall, by the way.
What was your beer budget on that one?
Zilch. Zero
rough.
beers.
That's rough, my dude.
And it was a late night. Look, it was fun and everything, but this year is just so sick. Like, there's a lightsaber back there, dude. There's a boombox. Dan and I just played Street Fighter 2. We're 1-1, by the way.
1-1.
You know.
Yeah, we got to figure out who's going to be the Street Fighter 2 SNES Classic champion.
It's a really important title. Look, I just wanted to say, esports has come a long way over the last year. That's what we're here to celebrate. But we have too.
All right. Before Colin starts crying, let's move on to the next award. This one, it's a little different. This one we're calling the Hard Carry of the Year award. What's key here is this isn't the player of the year. It's not about intangibles or their trophy cabinet or how well they worked with their team. This is about raw skill. It's about the way that you look at that one player, the one who plays different than anybody else, and they wow you on the server every single time. Here are nominees for the 2019 Hard Carry of the Year award.
The nominees for the Hard Carry Award are Ana, Simple, The Shy, Tian, Zywoo. And the winner is Ana.
Had that BKB, but if he's changed up so much magic damage, he may actually fall here. Double range, plus the BKB. Where's the physical damage? He's gonna get searched out. He's not be searching away. Now he's gonna turn. He's gonna re-engage. He's gonna turn. What a madman! He turns around and kills challenge.
Ana runs forward, can't get the Inkswell stun out, but you'll have the Omnislash.
Oh my!
Together you are. Together you stand. Together you die. And together you GG.
OG, the best team of all time, and with this, their second TI win, there is no question that we are witnessing the best team of all time.
All right. So Ana is incredible. And look, this was a really tough one for us to give. There were pretty much all these guys that really deserve this award, and there was a lot of conversation back and forth. But before we tell you guys why Ana won this, we do kind of have to talk about the other guys. We've got 2 League of Legends players on this list.
Yep.
The Shy, who basically carried his team from top lane all the way to Worlds, which, let me tell you, top lane is a hard place to carry from.
You got that right.
And maybe the coolest name in esports.
Among them, certainly. And then there's Tian, who, sick jungler, world champion, got to show off a really cool style of like carry jungling, something that we didn't get to see very often this meta. Now, of course, we do have 2 CSGO players on this list, somebody we've already talked about twice.
Yeah, true. Before that, I just want to say, if you can carry from top lane, like Huni, I'm looking at you, like let's get this going.
Oh, and in case you guys don't know, Colin has this insane infatuation with Huni, despite not being a massive League of Legends fan. He's been his boy since the beginning.
Since I interviewed him, actually, way back on the old podcast like a couple years ago. Now, in terms of hard carry, when you think of that phrase in CS, you think of, well, 2 guys now, primarily Simple, but also Zywoo, and that's why they're both on our list. If you took the esports dictionary, written by Red Eye, obviously, and you opened it up to hard carry, you would see a picture of Alexander Kostiliev. And that's Simple. And under that, there would be Zywoo. Because really, they're 2 sides of the same coin, right? Like we were saying earlier, I said it a million times, Zywoo was like sort of like the younger version, the second coming of Jesus in terms of this. Both of them are mechanically godlike. Both of them play like you shouldn't be able to play. And both of them, at times, do drag teams kicking and screaming that have other players who are maybe past their prime, or maybe their prime is not yet to come or hasn't come yet.
Yeah.
And you know, in that one-dimensional way, the traditional way of defining what a hard carry is, I mean, it's hard to do better than Simple and Zywoo.
And the thing is, I think Ana does transcend that, which is why we're giving him this award, right?
Yeah.
So Ana basically came out of semi-retirement, dude, like 1 TI last year, vanished, came back for TI again.
Just left the face of the earth. Just
training
disappeared for an entire year.
Here's the thing about Dota, right? It is a mechanically complicated game. You've got a lot of micro, you have a lot of items to manage, but it doesn't have the same kind of like, it doesn't have skill shots like in League of Legends, right?
Sure.
Mechanics manifest in different ways. But the thing that Ana has that really sets him apart is this unbelievable game knowledge. Can I tell you guys a story?
Yeah.
All right, let me tell you guys a story. Let me tell you a story. Okay?
I've heard this one already. It's cool.
All right, let me tell you the story. Okay, so upper bracket in TI, EG against OG. Ana is about to hit EG's shrine, okay? When you hit the shrine, you're revealed. So it just shows the other team that you're there attacking. Yeah, Fog of War goes away, right?
Right.
Ana is about to hit the shrine when he sees Arteezy walking past one of his wards. Immediately he intuits like 5 million things because dude's a machine or something.
Okay.
He sees Arteezy walking, he's like, oh, Arteezy's walking towards the secret shop. And by realizing, he's like, oh, Arteezy is buying Eagle Song, which builds into Butterfly. Butterfly gives you a bunch of evasion. This is an item that carries will usually buy when the other carry doesn't have Monkey King Bar, which pierces evasion, right? Of course. Thing is, Ana's already bought MKB, right?
Okay.
So if he hits the shrine, he reveals that he has MKB on the way to him from the courier.
Okay.
And then Arteezy won't buy Eagle Song and will instead build something else.
Right.
That would be the correct decision for Arteezy and wouldn't be an enormous waste of gold. Ana knows in that moment he can make Arteezy make a terrible decision and not lose the game, but really set himself back, really set himself as a carry way back by not doing anything. He doesn't hit the shrine, doesn't reveal himself. Arteezy buys Eagle Song to build into Butterfly. And it may be a different part of Butterfly, by the way. There's a couple parts, right? I'm pretty sure it's Eagle Song based on the gold differential, but he buys the item.
Yeah.
It sets him back 3,300 gold. Then Ana hits the shrine, revealing he has MKB. Without doing a single thing, Ana just outplayed Arteezy. Without lifting a finger.
Basically, what you're telling me is Ana made the best decision ever by not doing anything and causing Arteezy to waste, did you say 3,300 gold?
3,300 gold. And here's the thing, it wasn't just that he didn't do anything, right? He made that decision based on seeing a guy walk past a ward.
Right.
That's insane.
That's actually a really good story. You almost lost me with like the Monkey King bar part, because it's not an op, so I don't know what that is.
But different three-letter acronym.
Yeah, that's right.
MKB.
MKB, op, AWP, MKB.
Easy.
But it really highlights another dimension to being a carry, that depth of game knowledge.
Yeah.
And that's not to say the other guys on our list don't have that knowledge.
No.
But when you think about the Simples and the Zywus of the world, it's like they're Terminators. You ever talk to them about a play? You know, like the interview after is always they go, oh, I don't know, I just did it. Because it's like you turn them on, you let them kill, go kill, right?
Yeah. But
that is a kind of presence of mind, a kind of deep thought about the game that is a whole new dimension to hard carry.
And I think that kind of encapsulates exactly what makes Ana our 2019 hard carry of the year. It's just the reality is that when you can play the game at that high of a level while also having the mechanical skill, it sets yourself apart.
That and the fact that I've heard that in China, he's called the god of Dota.
Yeah. He's not B god, he's not A, right? Because they call other players like their letter god, right? He's not a god, he's the god.
They're not polytheistic over there.
No,
They're monotheistic.
There's one.
And it's Ana.
Okay. We have to move on to another section that we have. Because, of course, we've been talking esports and, we love to talk, and these guys specifically love to talk about the hardcore esports on our channel. But, and myself, this is one of my favorite things to do, is to talk about the big headlines from the year. We don't shy away from the drama either. And so we wanted to take you on a trip through the biggest headlines of 2019.
After weeks of allegations of disgusting behavior from an Echo Fox shareholder, enough is enough.
Unfortunate thing is being a racist in America, or being a racist in general, is not illegal. I feel completely bent over.
Fox's lawyers allege that Sklavos was putting Echo Fox in a tailspin by taking out more and more debt because of his, quote, drug-fueled lifestyle. This is when we get to the drugs? I wanted this like at the beginning.
Tfue is suing FaZe Clan.
Show the fucking contract, FaZe.
Because the point is, they weren't even allowed to use that contract according to the law.
What Brian is trying to claim covers this contract, it just simply doesn't cover the contract.
Over the past few months, Riot Games has been under a ton of criticism.
Employees at Riot had issues with hiring and promoting women. There were a lot of issues with regard to speaking in a sexual manner toward female colleagues.
Ninja will now be exclusively streaming on Mixer.
I just feel like I'm gonna get back to, back to the streaming roots.
Maybe the simplest way to put it is this is a big dick move from Microsoft.
This whole Ninjas in Pajamas shit show actually began with an emergency meeting.
And then it's Emil is the one that proceeds to tell us then that Nicholas has fled to Thailand with all the money.
No, I didn't take any money. I've showed the players this, and I spoke to Ramen about it the other day.
The Great Streamer Wars of 2019 have officially begun.
I'm leaving.
What?
Why? I'm joining YouTube!
Nick Kolcheff, who obviously goes by Nick Mercs on Twitch, is a massive personality. It makes sense that now he's become one of the first ever streamers to sign an exclusive deal with Twitch.
What's next? Well, if I have my way, nothing but more of the same. because I've officially re-signed with Twitch.
I'm happy to announce I'll be staying on twitch.tv/TimTheTapMan. Hear that, Kevin? We're not going anywhere!
The reason that I chose to step back was to create content and have fun without the worry of spreadsheets and without the worry of any of that bullshit.
This is really one of the first prominent casualties of this sort of corporate esports roller coaster that we've been on for the last few years.
Brack went on to tell PC Gamer that Blizzard's decision to ban Blitzchung was actually partially influenced by China. We've got serious criminal lawsuits, allegations of physical and verbal abuse, and now a minor being mistreated. This is fucked. Senator Ha released the entire contract in full, and we have a partial translation. And guess what? The contract has a few shady clauses, surprising absolutely no one who's been in esports for more than 4 days. Senator Ha also called Griffin's action those of a thuggish pimp, which honestly, that's hilarious. According to Korean news site News One, Griffin's top laner, Sword, has filed a police report against CV Max alleging physical abuse.
I figured when this all started, we would see some follow-up signings, maybe some smaller guys. But Shroud?
It's not just about the harm that Jarvis did in a couple games of solo queue. It's about the harm that he did by uploading that to 2 million people and making it look appealing to cheat.
I'm truly so sorry. Epic, I know I have to take accountability for my actions, and you know I'm gonna do my best to accept any punishment.
Man, there has been some crazy shit that happened this year. We're part of it so much that I've actually forgot about all the crazy things we've covered. What were your favorite headlines of the year?
I mean, with our new series, Don't At Me, we've been covering news again in a really meaningful way, and holy shit, it's been a crazy year. For me, I think the most impactful one is the whole Tfue shit, which was basically Tfue suing FaZe Clan back in the spring. Yeah. We did 8 videos about that. And the reason we did it is we kind of became involved in the story. At first, we were just trying to tell it in a really responsible, journalistic way, because not a lot of other people out there were doing that. And then, I got a hold of his lawyer in California. We kind of became
you guys were buddies.
Kind of buddies, I guess.
He was at least calling you at weird hours.
This dude was calling me at home. We talked for an hour, and he's kind of venting to me about the case, and I'm kind of thinking am I gonna make a video about this? What is this guy telling me this for, right? No, it was really crazy though, and it's not over. The whole
thing. It's still going on. Fact, I print new stuff for you every week.
This dude comes by my desk every 2 weeks, and he's new Tfue filing. This one's in New York, and this one's in California.
Yeah, this is for your docket, Colin.
Yeah, I have a giant stack of papers.
Yeah, because Colin, guys don't know this at home. Colin McNeil prints everything, and he doesn't want it double-sided because he hates trees.
This dude is fully anti-computer. During the Tfue saga, he's printing out every single lawsuit and highlighting them physically. It was
anti-computer
insane.
Makes it sound like I'm a Mennonite.
You might. I mean, we don't know that you're not.
Do you have one?
Do Mennonites wear Supreme?
Dude, I would love to see you in one of those hats.
Yeah, well, keep wishing.
Okay. What's your favorite
There
headline?
are 2 stories that really stick out to me that are really big deals. One of which we didn't get as personally involved with, but we spoke to a lot of reporters who were involved with it, at least one really notable one. I talked to Cecilia D'Anastasio, who was then at Kotaku, now at Wired, about the Riot walkout, which I think is probably one of the biggest stories of the year in terms of what impact I think it will have in the gaming industry over the next couple years. At least for one that I was really personally involved in reporting on was the whole Rick Fox, Echo Fox scandal, where he was alleging that investors in the company were saying racist things and making threats against him. And that story was nuts. I spoke to Rick Fox via DMs because welcome to esports, that's how it works here. And I spoke to Amit Raizada, who was the other party in this. I spoke to his lawyers for a long time, both of them. And there are things that we left on the cutting room floor, that we just didn't publish because it was nuts.
This guy was in a meeting room with the Amit Razada guy who was the one accusing
on the phone.
On the phone. Sorry,
I wasn't actually.
He wasn't there.
They weren't chilling.
And woo, that phone call's never gonna go public.
There's some spicy stuff in there.
Yeah, but for me, it has to be this whole streamer wars thing. Obviously starting with when Ninja left Twitch for Mixer. Our comment sections have their opinions about Ninja, but it is hard to understate just how impactful that move was. you know, we saw Ninja leave, and then we see Twitch reacted, they signed Nick Merckx, and then we see YouTube jump in and sign Courage, people going to Facebook, Shroud's going to Mixer. It was crazy, and I think it is almost impossible to understate what this does. Like,
it's worth saying that like the stuff that we're talking about right now is really different from, you know, the fails we were talking about earlier in the show, like absolutely stuff. Like, okay, like I know out there on online and on YouTube, you know, drama is the name du jour for this kind of stuff. It's not really drama. It's news.
This stuff is not drama.
This stuff is not drama, and the thing is, it has a really serious impact on esports, on streaming, on what we do and what we love.
Think about it. The Tfue story, that's going to change how contracts are drawn up in this space.
No matter what happens.
The Ninja Mixer stuff, that is like an industry war that's happening.
And it just changes what it means to be a streamer entirely.
The Rick Fox stuff revealed a ton of inner workings of these esports orgs that many of them would probably like to keep shut behind closed doors. This stuff is a huge deal, and it makes a real impact, which is why I think we feel it's so important to cover it the way we do.
And we're going to keep doing it. And a little plug here, you know, if you guys got any hot tips, my DMs are always open.
Mine are also always open.
For hot news tips, nothing else.
I will take other things too.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna stay in this world a little bit, kind of the headlines, content creation world for a little bit longer, because our next award is actually the Like and Subscribe Award for Content Creator of the Year. Now this one, it's kind of hard to narrow down, right? Because you can't just look at the Twitch metrics, pick the person with the most viewership, and then give the award away. That's just boring. The reality is, we wanted to give away an award to the person that moved things forward, that had an impact on not only streaming, not only esports, but gaming in general. Here are the nominees for the 2019 Like and Subscribe Award.
The nominees for the Like and Subscribe Award are Courage, Dr. Lupo, Ninja, Shroud, Tfue. And the winner is Dr. Lupo.
Matt's in the middle of this fight. Oh, and I got sniped. And I got sniped. Ah! You kill someone and you go, ah, God fucking damn it! Bro, are you kidding me?
What's that?
Are y'all for real?
You know, at first, I think it is easy to sometimes see numbers like Tfue's or see Ninja's move and overlook Dr. Lupo. But at the end of the day, we wanted this award to be about more than numbers and, you know, digits on your paycheck, subscribers, that kind of thing. I think Dr. Lupo encapsulates what we wanted. I mean, you look no further than just a few weeks ago. This guy raised more than $2 million in one day streaming for cancer. And I think one anecdote I kind of always go back to is Lupo is the kind of guy that you want speaking for gaming.
Yes.
You know, when you watch Ninja in front of Times Square and he's flossing and there's all these people just staring up at him, I mean, that's not the face I want in front of the world as the gamer. But when you talk about Lupo and his speech at the end of TwitchCon and everything he stands for, if I'm an esports person, if I'm a gaming person, if I'm just a general interest kind of guy like celebrities, Lupo is the voice that I want behind gaming, and that's why I think he is our winner for Content Creator of the Year.
That, and look, legitimately, in terms of metrics, he did have a great year.
Yeah, of course.
You hear about the Tfues so much and the Courages for Ariana Grande or suing their own org or whatever. But that doesn't mean that Dr. Lupo, who isn't in all this drama, who isn't in all this mudslinging business, isn't doing numbers.
He stays above it all, and that means his name maybe doesn't get out there to those who don't pay attention to this world as much, but he has a dedicated audience.
Dr. Lupo is not the guy that you're gonna see in the middle of the drama. But he is the guy that's going to be there when the dust settles that you want sort of behind this streaming world. And we've actually got him from that, you know, that familiar streaming setup that we all know and love to accept his award.
Hey everybody. I don't even really know what to say. Honestly, it's amazing to me that you guys chose me to receive the award. Over the last 5 years, something crazy happened with my channel, and that was people decided to support it and who I was and what I was trying to do. And so I've tried as hard as I can to do what I've always thought was the right thing to do with the the popularity that came out of nowhere that I wasn't actively like seeking it. It just happened. So as much as I want to take credit for being put in the position that I'm in, I 100% believe that it is because the people that watch me, the people that support the channel, and the people that help with all the charity events and everything that we decide to do and the causes we go after and try to support, those things are the most important. So ultimately, the only reason that I can receive any award is because of potentially people like you who might be watching this right now. So from the bottom of my heart, from my family's heart, my wife, my son, thank you very much for everything that you've done for me and my family. And here's to hoping that we can keep on trying to do something good and put gaming in a good light like we've tried to do every single time we've done anything. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. And it blows my mind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know it's gonna sound repetitive, but can't really say it enough. I'm only here because of the people that watch. So I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you around.
Okay, guys, it's time for the big one. You know I'm talking about Player of the Year. This one, it takes into account everything. You're talking intangibles, who filled up the trophy case, and who shined brighter than anybody else in 2019. Here are the nominees.
The nominees for Player of the Year are Anna, Arslan Ash, Perks, Simple, Sinatra, and the winner is Arslan Ash.
Unbelievable, the lead! Oh, he got the lead! Oh, Arslan Ash defeating me again! Wow, he looks so ready for it. Man! Arslan cementing his position as the best Tekken player on the planet.
Hell yes. This is my boy.
This is my boy.
It's our collective boy.
This is everybody's
Our collective
fucking boy this year,
Arslan
man.
Ash is... I don't think there was ever any question about Player of the Year.
Honestly, no.
It was Arslan Ash the whole time. Right? It was just, the dude is so sick, the story is so good, the play is so incredible. Back-to-back Evo Japan, Evo World Champion, never happened before. Brought Pakistan out of literal irrelevance into being a global force in Tekken.
I mean, even in the office, you know, our office is filled with people who like all different kinds of esports. But everybody nominated Arslan for Player of the Year.
And think about that. Who is Arslan Ash? Let's just pull this back a little bit. This isn't Simple. This isn't Perks.
This isn't some guy with years of legacy behind him.
This isn't a guy with 10,000 jerseys with his name on the back. Who is Arslan Ash? He is a Pakistani Tekken 7 player. And our office unanimously decided that he was Player of the Year.
Okay. I'm gonna let you guys kind of run with Arslan Ash kind of at the end of this section, but we did actually have some other nominees that had incredible years, obviously.
That's true.
And I think, you know, in our office, I tend to be the guy who's the Overwatch guy. And I think, you know, similarly to Arslan, Sinatra was another guy this year who won everything. You know, this is a guy who came into the year, he won the Season 2 title, he won MVP of the entire league, and then he decided he wasn't done. He went and won the Overwatch World Cup as an underdog with Team US.
The thing that I like about Sinatra, like for this award as a nominee, is he has that cool redemption story as well. You know, he started off as like a problematically toxic player. Actually, just did a
little
video
toxic,
about it.
yeah.
A little toxic. And he made a complete switch over, and he's a leader in his space.
Yeah, I mean, actually, when we actually took a trip down to San Francisco to interview some of the guys on Team USA recently, and speaking with Sinatra, you know, he definitely was not the same guy that I thought he was in Season 1. So it was an incredible year for Sinatra.
Another guy we have here on the nomination list, obviously Anna. We talked about him already, winner of the Hard Carry Award, so we don't need to go into too in depth. But listen, the guy showed up, won TI, and vanished. Like, he was an incredible mechanical talent, incredible game knowledge, and just literally was like part of the reason that OG won TI again.
Yeah.
Incredible player.
We're talking a bit about storylines here, right? Because that's part of the intangibles of what it takes to be Player of the Year, not just mechanical gods. They have an awesome, like,
narrative,
arc, you know? And you know who has that? Perks from
Absolutely
G2's
he does.
League of Legends team. And And I'm talking about the role swapping, Dan.
Yeah, of course, right? This is a guy who was among the best mid laners in the world, second best mid laner in Europe at the end of last season.
Okay.
When they signed Caps, who's the best mid laner in Europe, he says I'm gonna swallow my pride. I'm going to play AD carry, a role I've never played professionally before. Perks does, and becomes the best AD carry in Europe and among the best AD carries in the world. Comes second place at Worlds, wins everything on a role he's never played before.
That's wild. And he's part of the G2 squad we've already talked about, who won almost everything again for that, except that one series. And did it their way.
Yeah.
And another guy who does it his way, obviously, is Simple. Now, anytime you're going to have a Player of the Year discussion, we'd be remiss to not mention Simple.
Of course.
There's a reason that ZywOo isn't here, by the way, 4th time we'd be talking about him, and that's simply because he was nominated for Phenom of the Year, and we decided if you're a rookie, so to speak, you don't get to be nominated. You get disqualified for Player of the Year. So next year, if ZywOo has a comparable year, he might be on this.
He was already nominated for half of our awards.
Thank God he literally couldn't be nominated.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's just too much.
But obviously, as I said earlier, he's neck and neck for best player in the world with Simple. And that seems to always be the story of Simple. He's always in this conversation.
Yeah.
But, this year was kind of the same old story. It wasn't Simple's best year ever. He didn't win that elusive major. He didn't really stand at the top of the CSGO world in terms of his team, just in terms of his individual stats.
Right.
And that's why, he's not gonna make it that extra step for us to decide he's a winner. Different conversation with the fact that there's no Astralis or Liquid players on here. We wanted to recognize them for roster of the year. Could we have picked out a device? Could we have picked out an Elige, put them on this list? Possibly, but we really, really wanted to have this list be a diversity of esports, represent what we do. We are the score esports, not the score Counter-Strike. Although I'd be down.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds like your dream.
Well, maybe.
We also just couldn't have a 15-person list.
Yeah.
This is also true.
I think at the end of the day, when we get back to talking about Arslan, this is a guy who, despite all of the great things we're saying about all these other players, he did things that we've never seen before this year.
And that's exactly it, right? So EVO Japan and EVO, and listen, EVO Japan is a relatively new tournament, right? But nobody has ever done them back-to-back. And that is an unbelievable feat in of itself, because EVO is an enormous tournament.
So just to be clear here, he won Evolution in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And he won, prior to that, Evolution in Japan, and he did really well at the Tekken World Tour Finals.
Did very well at Tekken World Tour Finals. The only reason he didn't win is because he was in the group with Knee of each of their choice, really, because he wanted to win the he didn't want to win the tournament without playing against Knee.
That's so fucking awesome, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, he's Goku. Like, he literally was like, you're a strong opponent. I will face you.
It wouldn't have been, I don't think for Arslan, and I don't want to speak for him, we've spoken a few times, but I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I feel like that for Arslan, it wouldn't have been a victory if he didn't get to play against Knee, because they played at EVO Japan where he beat him off stream, which was the thing that made everybody realize, oh, maybe we should take this guy, maybe we should pay attention to this guy.
Maybe we should put him on the
camera. And then he beat him twice in EVO World in winners finals and grands. Here's the thing about EVO, right? And I've been talking about EVO. EVO is an enormous tournament. You have to beat, there were over 1,000 people playing Tekken 7.
Just Tekken 7.
Just Tekken 7, right? And everybody starts from the same place. There's no group stage. You don't get a bye, right? You can get a better seed, but you play the same amount of games as the bottom seed, right? He had to play, and he was not highly seeded EVO Japan. He had to play so many matches just to even get to top 8, let alone to win grand finals in EVO Japan from losers, and then at EVO.
This point really can't be understated. You guys gotta understand that a tournament like EVO, where there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people there at Mandalay Bay, you don't get an invite. Based on how good you are. Knee, arguably, maybe this just changed now, the god of Tekken, right? This dude has to play exactly the same amount of matches as you would have to play if you went to top 8.
If I didn't 0-2, because I would 0-2.
And you would, right?
Yeah.
And if Knee 0-2s, guess what? He's out. That's it. There's no invites, guys.
Yeah. There's no free ride, right?
Yeah, no room to just have a bad match.
There's no room to have a bad match. You play from dawn till dusk, just like everybody else. And part of Arslan's story, not to get too deep into it, because we do have a whole video on it, guys.
Hey, please watch.
Except for EVO Japan, he almost didn't even make it.
He had delayed flights. He didn't eat. He showed up 15 minutes before pools, something like that. Dude was hungry, tired, and he still beat everyone.
In a world where esports teams, the best of them, have sports psychologists, masseuses, nutritional experts. And this guy shows up jet lagged, no food, in a country where he doesn't speak the language 15 minutes before he has to play all day? My God, that's impressive.
We didn't even get into two things we didn't get into, right? One, unique Pakistani style of Tekken that nobody had ever seen before. He played this really cool, compact
What
defensive
is
style.
Pakistani Tekken?
So there is this style that he kind of showed the world where he plays this really, people call it compact, where he's not pressing a lot of buttons. He's not making a lot of pokes. He's kind of in your face, but playing super defensively. Okay. He's feeling you out and looking for that one chink in your armor, and when he cracks it, the match is over.
All right.
And it was this really cool, patient style that we didn't often get to see before. And listen, there's that unique Pakistani style of Tekken, because it turns out there's an enormous Pakistani Tekken community that nobody in the world had any idea
Which now we know about.
Which now we know about. They get to travel now because Arslan can go to the visa office with them and say, hey, I won this tournament, I'm a big deal, I'm signed to Red Bull, they should be able to travel too. And now they're traveling to Waitani, Atif Butt.
And I think this is really the key, guys. Like, you know, you can talk about accolades all day, you can talk about trophy cases, but when you talk about Arslan Ash, you're talking about a guy who, like you said, revolutionized the game, did it from the very bottom of the scene, and put an entire country's Tekken scene on the map. And that's what encapsulates a Player of the Year. And we have our 2019 Player of the Year, Arslan Ash, to accept his award.
Hello guys, this is me, Arslan Ash, and I am so happy that I won the theScore Esports Best Player of the Year award. And I am so glad that they acknowledged my hard work, and thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
You know, we could be in a scenario where people have to pick and choose, and the majors aren't the end-all and be-all of CS. Maybe arguably we're already there. Now, as far as the award show next year, you're going to have a hard time giving Roster of the Year to Tekken 7.
I don't see what the problem is. Just give it to the roster of
Well,
characters.
the problem...
They have Akuma, they have Geese, they have Negan. Come on.
Yeah, okay, the Negan was a strange
That's who they've gotten there.
Could have gone with Kazumi, my boy Bob,
Bob's
Kazuya.
there, but they're always in Tekken. They're not special.
Okay, don't ever say that about Kazuya. He's got the devil gene, okay?
That is special.
But the major problem for real is Astralis, because they won last year, and I'm dead serious when I think, like, they not only could, I believe that they will win next year. That's how dominant they are.
Putting money on that?
Are you trying
Am
to
I
bet?
putting money on it?
Are you trying to bet?
Yeah, I'll put money on it.
So Astralis versus the rest of the world.
Okay,
$50?
Astralis versus the rest of esports.
50 Justin Trudeau Canadian dollars.
I'm taking that.
Astralis.
I'm in. I'm taking it.
If you guys watch CSGO,
this
Astralis
is the
versus
worst
the rest
bet of your
esports,
life, man.
It's like an easy win, man. Easy money.